Hi, let's talk about data types in JavaScript. In our last video, we learned about variables. In simple terms, a variable is like a label on the box. The box can be compared to a computer's memory. And the stuff we store inside this box is called as data. And this data can be of different types. We have the following data types in JavaScript: numbers, strings, Boolean, null, undefined, begin, symbol, and object. All these data types can be broadly grouped into two categories: primitive and reference. So all 7 of these are primitive, and object is a reference data type, also called as composite data type. Composite data types can hold a collection of values and more complex data, whereas these primitive ones can hold just one single value. And also they store the values directly. For let a equals to 25, the variable a will store the number 25. But in case of reference data type, variables don't store the actual data. They only store the object's location in memory, which means the object is stored somewhere in computer's memory, and the variable will store the memory address of that object. Let's go through the primitive data types first. The number type is used to represent positive or negative numbers with or without decimal places, or numbers written using exponential notation. Example 1.1e minus 5, which is equivalent to 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 5. The number data type also includes some special values which are infinity, negative infinity, and NaN. Infinity represents mathematical infinity, which is greater than any number. Infinity is the result of dividing a non-zero number by 0, while NaN represents a special not a number value. It is a result of an invalid or an undefined mathematical operation, like dividing 0 by 0. Begin type was recently added to the language to represent integers of arbitrary length. We use begin data type for really big numbers. A begin value is created by appending n to the end of an integer. String data type is used to represent textual data. A string in JavaScript must be surrounded by quotes. We have 3 of these: double quotes, single quotes, and backticks. There's practically no difference between double and single quotes in JavaScript. They are pretty simple. You just have to make sure that you don't use the same quote inside the text as well. For example, let a equals to what's up. This is a string, so I need to put it inside quotes, and I cannot use single quotes over here, cause it is already present in the text I need to store. So it will throw an error if I try to use single quotes. So instead I will surround the string with double quotes. Backticks are template literals. We will study about these in detail later on. As of now, you can use these for writing multi-line strings. Then we have Boolean data type. It has only 2 values, true and false. True is like, okay, this one is correct, and false is like, no, that's not right. Let me compare 2 numbers in our editor. So console.log, 5 greater than 2. Is it correct? Yes, it is. So I'm going to get true as the result. If I reverse the sign, I'm gonna get false. Let me show you one more. So again, console.log, and let's check the value inside the variable a. Is it high? No, it's not. So I'm going to get a false. Is it by? Yes, it is. So the result is true. Let's move on to the next data type, undefined. So when a variable is declared and not assigned with a value, the variable is undefined. It has got no definition. So undefined is basically a default initial value for unassigned things. There's another data type similar to it, but yet very different. Null. Null means empty, unknown, nothing. When we assign null to a variable, we are intentionally making it empty. Before we move on to the last two data types, which are symbol and object, let's learn about an operator, type of. So this operator tells you the data type of the given data. Here's how we use it. Console.log, bracket, then type of. Both the words go together, no caps, and then we can write the variable name containing the data or directly the data itself. Now, let me copy this thing first. There is no shame in copying and pasting similar line of codes. Why to waste time by typing in? Well, anyways, let's check the type of 10. It's a number. Now next one, Control V, pasted, and the next data is this really big number. And let me add n at the end, and the type is big int. Next, again Control V encodes and hello. So the type is string. Moving on to the next one, paste and false. It's a Boolean value. For the next one, let's declare a variable at the top and leave it unassigned. So type of A is undefined. Now, what do you think will happen when I try to find the data type of null? It's a primitive data type. So like rest of these, it's obvious its type should be null. But it's not. The type of operator returns object as result. This is a bug and one that unfortunately can't be fixed because it would break existing code. To explore the history of this bug, you can click on the link given in the description box. Let's move on to the next data type, object. Object is a composite data type. It can contain a collection of data. Let me show you a very simple, very basic one. Let me create an object student and then within curly brackets, I can define its properties like name, colon, Frodo, comma, then type, colon, Hobbit, comma, age 50 and so on. Now let's see its type in console. Type of student. It's an object. So this was a very simple example of an object. Object is a huge topic and we will cover it later on. And also the primitive type symbol as it is related to objects. And this was all for today. I will meet you in the next video. And if you like the content, do give a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe.